Good morning. Today, in this lecture, what I am going to do is to explain the simple pendulum problem using three different approaches. One is Newtonian approach, second one is Lagrangian approach, and third one is Hamiltonian approach. Simple pendulum or planar pendulum is a bob attached to a string. Simple pendulum. A bob attached to a string of length, say L. So you have a string. On one end, there is a mass, say M. The length of the string, that is, the length is defined from the point of suspension to the center of gravity of the mass, and it is, say, L. Is L. Now, let the vertical direction is denoted like this. This is vertical, and I'll denote it in dots. The equilibrium position of the system is when the bob is at this position. What is meant by equilibrium position? It is the position at which the net force acting on the system is zero. At this position, that is at an angle theta from the vertical, the forces acting on the system are, one is of course its weight, that is mg, which is always vertically downward, and the second force is of course the tension acting on the string. Let me denote it as T. In this point, it is clear that this mg and T are not opposite. Hence, there will be a net force. But if you consider the equilibrium position, there mg is vertically downward and tension will be vertically upward. That will cancel each other. Therefore, the net force will be zero in this vertical position. That is why it is called an equilibrium position. This is a diagram that you have to draw if you want to apply Newtonian formulation to the problem of simple pendulum. When I apply Lagrangian or Hamiltonian formulation, no need to mark these forces. Instead, I will mark the velocity and the position with respect to equilibrium. That is the first difference. For applying Newtonian mechanics, you need to mark the forces acting on the system. And then you have to apply Newton's equations of motion. So, the first approach is, of course, Newtonian approach. Newton's equation is F is equal to ma. It is actually in linear motion. The corresponding analog in rotational motion is torque tau is equal to I alpha, where alpha is angular acceleration and I is a moment of inertia. That is, Newton's second law in rotational motion can be written as tau is equal to I d square theta by dt square. In this position, when the mass is at an angle theta from vertical, you can split this mg into two components. One component is opposite to the tension and it will balance the tension. The second component will be in this direction. The resultant of these two components will give you this mg. What is this component marked in blue? It is actually mg sine theta. It is mg sine theta. And this component is, of course, mg cos theta. This is the difficulty of a Newtonian approach. You have a good knowledge in resolving vectors, then only you can approach or you can use Newtonian approach. Now, mg sine theta is the component of force which tries to restore this mass to the equilibrium position. Therefore, I can write restoring torque as you all know, torque is force into perpendicular distance, that is mg sine theta into perpendicular distance is nothing but L. Perpendicular distance. This is torque about this point of suspension. Hence, it is mgl sine theta. mgl sine theta. Let me write it in this half. So I obtained two equations. One is tau is equal to I d square theta by dt square. Second one is tau is mgl sine theta. In the second case, I will write a negative sign to show that it is restoring in nature. From these two equations, I can write d square theta by dt square is equal to minus mgl by I sine theta. Equating these two. Or I can write it in a compact form, d square theta by dt square plus mgl divided by, what is I? I, for a point mass attached to a string of length L, this string is massless. This point mass, since it is at a distance L from the axis, it will have a moment of inertia ml square into sine theta is equal to 0. So this is simply d square theta by dt square plus g by L sine theta equal to 0. This is the equation of a planar pendulum. This pendulum becomes a simple pendulum when you consider the angle theta very small. I will stop here. The Newtonian approach gives me an equation like this for a planar pendulum. Now, I will explain the second approach. Second approach is Lagrangian approach. Here again, I have this string and I have the vertical position. This is vertical position. This is at an angle theta. You have a mass m. The length of the string is again L. This is equilibrium position. In Newtonian approach, what you need is the velocity of this mass at any particular instant. At any particular instant, this will be moving in this direction or in the opposite direction. Either way, it is not a problem. This will move like this. So let it be in this direction at any particular instant of time. The second thing that we have to mark is the height of this mass from the equilibrium position. That reference need not be equilibrium position. That can be the point of suspension also. Now let me mark this distance. This distance is simply L minus L cos theta. You can look at this figure. This distance, the total distance from here to here is L, and this distance is say L cos theta. Hence, this difference is L minus L cos theta. And this velocity, the linear velocity when a body moves in a circular path is r omega. Here the radius of the circle is L and omega is nothing but theta dot. Theta dot, what I mean by theta dot is d theta by dt. So no need to mark the forces acting on the system. We need only the velocity and the position of the mass. What is Lagrange's equation? Lagrange's equation is d by dt of dou L by dou theta dot minus dou L by dou theta equal to 0. Because here theta is the generalized coordinate. L is the difference between kinetic energy and potential energy. Here kinetic energy is half m v square. V is simply L square theta dot square. That is why I mentioned what you need is the velocity minus potential energy. Potential energy is mgh, since it is a gravitational potential energy. But here h is L into 1 minus cos theta. This is the Lagrangian of this simple pendulum. I can easily find dou L by dou theta dot. It is L square theta dot. Dou L by dou theta, it is minus mgl sin theta. When I substituted back this in the original expression, I will obtain d by dt of ml square theta dot minus, and there is a minus sign again, so mgl sin theta equal to 0. ml square into theta dot is actually d theta by dt. There is one more d by dt that will give me d square theta by dt square plus mgl sin theta equal to 0. Dividing throughout by ml square, final answer will be d square theta by dt square plus g by l sin theta equal to 0. Again, the same expression that we obtained using Newtonian approach. But this approach is entirely different. No need to worry about the forces. No need to know the resolution of vectors. Okay. We are dealing with only scalar quantities, energy. Okay. Now, what is the third approach? Third approach is a Hamiltonian approach. Again, in the figure, what you need is the same as Lagrangian. You have a string, a mass is attached to it, and you have this vertical. The mass is at an angle theta. It is mass m. Here also, what you have to mark is the velocity and the position with respect to the equilibrium. And this is L theta dot. Again, this is L minus L cos theta. Lagrangian and Hamiltonian are physically equivalent. The only difference is mathematical formulation. In Lagrangian, you have a second order differential equation, ordinary second order differential equation. But in Hamiltonian, you have two first order differential equations. First one is theta dot is equal to dou h by dou p theta. P theta dot is equal to dou h by dou theta with a negative sign. Okay. What is Hamiltonian? Hamiltonian, in this system, it is simply t plus v. It is not always t plus v. That details I will discuss in a coming lectures. But in this problem, I will write h is equal to t plus v. So it is half m L square theta dot square plus mgl into 1 minus cos theta. This is h. Therefore, theta dot is equal to dou h by dou p theta. Oh, I made a mistake. This is actually it is numerically Hamiltonian, but Hamiltonian should be expressed in terms of momenta. Then actually this should be p theta square divided by 2m. P theta square divided by 2m. So dou h by dou p theta is p theta by m, and second one is p theta dot is equal to minus dou h by dou theta. That minus sign initially will give me plus, then cos theta derivative is minus sin theta. So minus mgl sin theta. Again, you have two equations actually. Theta dot is equal to p theta by m and p theta dot is equal to minus mgl sine theta. You can substitute p theta as m theta dot from this equation to this one. That will give me m theta double dot is equal to minus mgl sine theta. Again, I forgot to write an L square here. This is actually p theta by ml square. This is also ml square. So this is ml square. So here also there will be ml square. Eventually, I will get it as theta double dot plus g by L sine theta is equal to 0, or d square theta by dt square plus g by L sine theta is equal to 0. In the last few steps, here the Hamiltonian formulation is over, but in the last few steps, what I tried to uh, prove is Hamiltonian is mathematically equivalent to Lagrangian. Here, there are two first order differential equations instead of a second order differential equation. I hope you understood the difference between the three approaches. Last two approaches, Lagrangian and Hamiltonian, is basically the same, but Newtonian is entirely different. So every mechanical problem you can try to approach in these methods. We will see with another problem in the coming lecture. Thank you. Thank you for watching.